welcome to A Homespun House. I'm Molly, and thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join me. As you can see, ta-da! I'm wearing my Raven's Nest shawl. I finished it Tuesday, late evening. It probably was Wednesday morning because I was up quite late. We had company over, and I was really, really nervous that I wasn't going to be able to finish my shawl. Last week, I was into the first lace panel, which is about here, and then I had just a little bit more to go, but because there are so many stitches on the needle, and because I've just been so busy, there's so much that I've had to do with work lately, and we've been having company over. I just didn't see time that I was going to be able to finish it, and I didn't want to fail at my own knit along. So I brought it, and I worked on it during nap time, and I asked extra if I could go into the quiet room with the children and knit on my shawl. So I did, and I finally finished it Tuesday late evening. Oh, that was such a relief. But however, this has got to be, so this is the Raven's Nest shawl by Judy Marples. It's from the Cooperative Press book Cascadia, and this has got to be one of my most enjoyed knits. I mean that two ways. This is, I've decided, my favorite thing that I have ever knit. Ever. In my entire knitting life. I know that sounds really crazy because I have been knitting, oh God, I don't even know, for about 20 years. And it has got to be, in my mind, I think it's one of the most wearable things that I've ever knit. It's not mine, however, it's my mom's, but I will definitely be knitting another. And I knit this one in Nature's Luxury Bliss A yarn, which is a cashmere silk blend, and I knit it in the inky colorway. And I really love it. I think the color is absolutely stunning, and this yarn is the nicest yarn that I've ever knit with. It's so nice and cozy. Okay, now that the product is finished, it's so nice and cozy. The yarn drapes beautifully. It's something that I was a little bit worried about, actually, was whether or not it would drape nicely, because it is such a cloud-like fabric once it's knitting up. But it blocked. Ooh, that coffee is delicious. Robert's mom bought us some coffee for Christmas. I don't even remember what it is, but it's heavenly. I made it a little bit darker. I like my coffee quite dark, quite strong, and I drink it black. Oh, but I made it a little bit stronger this morning. It's delicious. I'm happy I did. Yeah, so I was a little bit worried that it wouldn't drape nicely, and after I blocked it, it's perfect. It drapes amazingly. If my mom doesn't love this, she's crazy, because it's, like I said, I think it's stunning. It's beautiful. It's a piece that you can dress up, dress down, wear every day. And I've got to get my hands on some more of this yarn, because it's unlike anything I have ever worked with. It's, like I said, it's the Nature's Luxury yarn in the Bliss A base. And it's something different. Danitza, the owner, she ships everywhere worldwide. So if you guys want to get your hands on some of this, by all means do. It is... There's nothing like it that I've knit with, like I said. But then again, I've never knit with a cashmere silk blend. And if you haven't, do it. Do it, do it, do it. You're spending time on your projects. You're putting your effort and love into it. So why not use these amazing materials that are there for us? And these people who are spending time and putting love, like Danitza, into her yarns, because now that I've knit with this, now that I've made something out of the Nature's Luxury Bliss A yarn, I'm quite in love with it. I feel like I have a special bond with this yarn after making this special piece for my mom, and I absolutely love it. I love this yarn. I love this pattern. It is one that I know I will be knitting again. When I thought about knitting this, the pattern, the Raven's Nest shawl, I initially wanted to knit the larger size. I thought there is no way that I will get a big enough shawl with 400 yards of yarn. I was nervous last week that I wouldn't have enough. And then I saw Philippa finish hers, and I thought, oh good, there must be enough yarn, because she as well is using the Nature's Luxury yarn. And she finished hers, and it looked beautiful. It looked so, so beautiful. So many of you who were in the Knit Along knit this, and all of them turned out absolutely gorgeous. I wonder if you guys will be knitting another one. Did you enjoy the pattern as much as I did? Because it was just so much fun to knit up. But for all of you who finished, you did such neat projects. And we had a nice range of projects. We had hats, we had socks, we had shawls. Is that it? Hats, socks, shawls. Yeah, which is a nice range. And I'm so proud of all of you guys. I'm so proud of you who joined in. We also had a dishcloth. Yes. I'm so proud and happy that you guys all joined in. And we had nice chatter going on the boards for the amount of you that were involved. So that was so lovely to see. I was so, so happy to see that. Okay, let's rewind a little bit. So after I finished my Nature's Luxury shawl, I blocked it. I washed it and soaked it, of course. I didn't wash it, I soaked it. And I soaked it in my Tuft Woolens Mossy Woods. It says it's a sock soap, but you can really use it for any sort of wool. It's just a wool wash. But what I have is the Sock Soak Sampler Pack, which I talked about last week and the week before, I believe. So I soaked mine in this. And the Nature's Luxury yarn actually didn't need to be soaked in a scented wash, because it comes with this amazing lavender smell, because she soaks hers in a lavender wash. But I soaked mine in the Mossy Woods. So here's the little piece that you get in the sampler pack. And my shawl smells amazing. It has nice hints and tones of this lovely delicate soap in it. And while the cashmere and silk is so soft, so maybe it's a bit of a funny thing to talk about how soft the soap made it. But I really feel like it actually made it a little bit softer, if that's even possible. I'm in love with these soaps. Martha of Tuft Woolens makes these, and she has, on her Etsy store, she has sock soap, let's get this right, sock soap sampler packs. And you get 5 different soaps, that you can sample, and they will last forever in my opinion. But I love them so much that I know when I'm finished with my sampler pack, I will purchase another one, or purchase maybe a big bar of whichever one I in the end love the most. She has photography and some other fun things on her page. I totally recommend it. I really loved washing my shawl with it. And all you do is you just kind of stick it under the faucet when you're putting the water in, and you rub it until the water turns a nice milky white. And then you put your knitted item in, and you soak it for 10-15 minutes, and then you block it. Or hang it, or whatever you do with your socks, shawls, sweaters. I love it. It's so affordable, her wool wash, and it's just wonderful. It's all natural. I couldn't recommend it anymore. If you noticed, on my shawl, I have this adorable little deer pin. So I have 2 of these pins. Here's the second one. And these actually belong to my granny, not my Grandma Sue, my mother's mom, but my granny, who is my dad's mom. It's funny, we call my mom's parents Grandma and Grandpa, and my dad's parents Granny and Papa. And these 2 pins belonged to my granny when she was younger. And I don't, it's really sad because I actually don't know the story behind these pins. I should ask her, because now I'm actually very curious. Now that when I got these, I really loved them, but I think I was 16 years old and I wasn't as into the story behind things. So my granny has a jewelry box, and every time, we have a lot of children in the family. My mom comes from a family of 7 children, and my dad comes from a family of 5 children. And there are a lot of, each of these children have 7 children, 8 children, 3 children, 4 children. So it's a really big family. And so every time a girl in the family turns 16, she gets to choose something from the jewelry box, be it a necklace, pins, I have pretty old hairpin, lots and lots of different things. And I chose these 2 deer pins. So it's really crazy because I've never ever worn them before. Maybe I've worn them one time. I feel like I've worn them once. I was trying to get my shawl to stay closed, and I couldn't because I don't have a shawl pin. And these were sitting in I have an old vintage sewing box, and these were sitting right there, and I thought, that is the perfect idea. They are adorable, they're so pretty, they're so special. Why not tie this brand new shawl that I've knit in with this pretty old special gift that my granny gave me? And I did, and I love it, and I will definitely, I think, be using these as shawl pins, although I was a little bit nervous that it would kind of mess with the knit, with the fabric. I did it very carefully, so I'm sure everything's fine. But I will definitely be using them again to tie in my shawls together and to put them together. So I started to say, I'm totally rewinding now, again. So I started to say that I thought that this shawl would be too small. But as I knit on, it ended up being, I think, the perfect size. I cannot see my mom wearing a huge, massive, big, cozy shawl. I think that she will wear this more as a fashion piece. I can see her also wearing it around outside when she's sitting out on the deck at the water, because where my parents live, they have a big lake in front of them. But I can also see her wearing it to work and maybe to events or out to anywhere that she goes. So I'm really happy with the size that it turned out, and I have enough yarn left that I can make something small. I don't think I will add any of this to my Cozy Memories blanket because I don't know. I feel like I feel this is really terrible, but I feel like it's too special to use just that little square. I would rather make the rest of this yarn into Birds of Happiness. The Bird of Happiness is actually what the pattern is called. And I started working on this pattern last week. And I can show that to you. So I will be using the rest of this pattern. I'm quite sure, you know, mines can change for a Bird of Happiness. So for this pattern, I also used the Nature's Luxury yarn in Farouche. I used this in the Terra Vinum colorway. It's 65% silk and 35% baby camel. Also so luxurious. It feels, I mean, sure it's different than the cashmere, but the baby camel is so similar. I think if someone handed this to you, and told you it was cashmere, you probably would believe them. So here it is. It's this beautiful red, deep, just jewel-toned red colorway. And I just got a little sample along with my Bliss A yarn. And so I thought this as well is so special that it needs to be used for something small and something that will be seen often, and maybe even just squeezed by a visitor. So you guys are waiting for it. Here's the bird. Isn't she just adorable? I've kept this little string here in the middle because I really want to put a little crocheted band here so that she can hang. I think that will be adorable. And I don't know where I'll hang her. I even thought about making a couple and making it into a hanging garland that hangs vertically at the kitchen or something. I don't know. So I think that I have enough left that I can make 2 more birds. And oh, I stuffed it with some lavender like I hoped. I was not to the Turkish market, but someone gifted me some lavender, and I will talk about that a little bit later. I can totally see this being a pattern that I will knit over and over and over. Kind of like last week how we talked about my grandma, how she has these projects that she knits hundreds of socks, the bracelets, and this is totally a pattern. Okay, last week I talked about how this pattern would maybe take an hour and a half once I start getting working on it. So not true. This pattern is so quick. I was really shocked by how fast I was able to knit this. I would say in total the pattern takes maybe 30 minutes. If you're really sitting and concentrating on knitting it, which you kind of have to do because it changes basically every single row. As you can see, it's a quite sculptured pattern. But it's so simple. It's so simple. It's so adorable. I think I will sew just teeny little black beads on the eyes. Maybe. I don't know. It's maybe nice enough as it is. We see. I'll knit a couple and think about it. But I enjoyed knitting this well enough. I don't know if I would say it was the most fun knit ever. And maybe it will become that after I knit a couple of them. After I have 100 or so. I can see this being something that maybe after my grandma sees it, maybe she wants to try out a few. Because it really is so simple. Takes up no time. And the bird just turns out so, I think, beautifully. Yeah, so I love these. I love these. And she just smells so nice and so good filled with that lavender. I also kind of had the idea, and I might try it in a couple of the birds, to scent because I have I have natural wool in here. I've mentioned quite a while ago that I have a massive bag of fleece. It's all washed, carded. It has quite a bit of oil still left inside of it, lanolin. But I've stuffed it with this because I think it's nicer to have them be, you know, natural inside with that natural fleece. I thought about scenting the actual fleece with oil because I have some natural lavender and peppermint and rose, tea tree, quite a bit of different oils, Aveda oils. So I don't know, maybe I'll experiment with different things as far as scenting the sweet little birds. And I really like them simple. I don't want to add too much to them. I think the pattern is gorgeous. So that is finished. I feel like there was something else that I wanted to say about the bird, but that's all I can remember, so that's all that I guess I'll say. The next thing that I'm working on is my Cozy Memories blanket. I think that will consistently be a work in progress in the next weeks because I asked if you wanted to send any of your yarns in, and so many of you so generously wanted to, which is so special. So last week, I received the yarn from Kelly, and she sent me 4 mini skeins, all different kinds of yarns with all different stories, except for one she had just some extra, and I really love the yarn, so she just had quite a bit extra of the yarn. This one, the Patton's Croy, so she just sent it along, and I was happy to have it because Patton's Croy has a little story for me anyway, and because it was from her, it meant something as well. So the other 3 all had stories along with them, and this one did too, I mean. So I knit them. I knit them all into my Cozy Memories blanket. So this is how it is looking now. Let's hold it like this, I guess. Gravity likes it best that way. So this is the way that the blanket looks now. Yes. And I love it. These are the new ones that I knit right here, here. This is my favorite of the yarn that she sent me. I think it's beautiful. This one right here. This is the one that I said reminds me of my grandma. It's totally colors that she likes. And then I finished up this one right here, the white birch fiber arts in the refractory colorway that I knit my socks in. And then I added this pretty one as well. These jewel toned ones that she sent are just so nice. So that's what I added on my Cozy Memories blanket last week. 4 new squares. And I will slowly be adding more and more. So, I totally forgot to announce the winners of the Shawl Knit Along. Whoops. So, the 2 winners for the Shawl Knit Along are... The first winner is E-Hope, or Elizabeth. And Elizabeth, you win the Cyborg Craft Room fingering weight yarn in the Joan Collins Blazer colorway. This is that beautiful plum, purple, baby blues, royal blue, sparkle colorway in 75% superwash merino wool, 20% nylon, and 5% stellina. And then Elizabeth, you also get the extended rainbow stitch markers. You're going to love these. Here they are. They're from such wonderful stuff. And I love these. Her prices as well are super affordable. And I have a couple sets of stitch markers from her that I love. And of course, the tin. And the next winner is, Elizabeth knit. She also knit a raven's nest shawl. And the next winner is Andy or Andrea. And you won the Color Adventures DK yarn in the forest colorway. This is 75% merino, 20% silk, and 5% stellina. And this is also a sparkle colorway, hence the stellina. And you win the Jumbo Extended Rainbow Stitch Markers, also from Such Wonderful Stuff. And here these are. So these ones are a little bit bigger. So congratulations, you guys. And congratulations to everybody else who entered. Like I said, it was so fun to have us all knitting the Cooperative Press books together. And I just really enjoyed it. Like I said, I don't know if I would have knit this shawl if it wouldn't have been for me starting this Cooperative Press knit along. I really don't think that I would have. I always saw, from the Yarngasm podcast, I always saw her knitting on her shawl. And I saw the finished project and I was just in awe. I thought it was so gorgeous and I loved it so much that I kind of always wanted to knit one, and I wanted to knit one, and I thought, when will I knit one? I feel like I've been knitting, our last knit along, two knit alongs ago, I knit a shawl. And, but I guess shawls you can always be knitting. I'm always knitting socks, so I guess there's no really rule with what you can be knitting. But anyway, I don't think that I would have knit it if I wouldn't have done this Cooperative Press knit along. So I'm really happy that I did. I'm so happy that we had the Cooperative Press knit along. I don't want you guys who knit along to think that I was ungrateful for you or anything, because I had mentioned that we didn't have a lot of people joining. But I'm so happy for you. I'm so thankful for you that knit along and that joined in. Because otherwise it would have just been me sitting here and knitting on this shawl alone. And I was happy to have you guys knitting the same kind of thing as I was, and to be joined together and doing something. So thank you guys so much. I'm so excited for this month's knit along. And it's really cool because I haven't filmed a podcast yet that kicked off the knit along the first of the month. So I think that's exciting. I think that's something to kind of celebrate. I wish I had balloons or something, or a cake, but I don't. I'm actually really hungry. I think because it's so early and I haven't had breakfast yet. I've just been sipping on my coffee, and I'll have something. I'll probably have some toast with goat cheese because I love goat cheese and tomato for breakfast. Okay, anyway, now you guys are all getting hungry, I bet. Yeah, so we're kicking off the sock knit along. I've never mentioned this on the podcast, which is terrible. I just mentioned it in the Ravelry group. Okay, the sock knit along is this month. Now, those of you who aren't in the Ravelry group know. It's exciting. It's wonderful. I haven't knit socks for a week. And for me, that's like crazy. That feels like so long. I was feeling a bit lost because I didn't have socks on the needles, and I had no idea what to cast on. I wasn't feeling super inspired by any of my sock yarn, which is a little bit sad. I wasn't feeling super inspired. Excuse me. I feel like this cough is going to go on forever. And then I received this. So this is a part of my stash enhancements, which I will go into after I talk about the sock knit along. So this is Sal Baba. Where in the world is my, I don't have it, a little tag. This is Sal Baba, and this is the, I think it's called like the Fall Wind colorway. And it's really pretty. It has that hand spun sort of feel, and I really love this in a sort of yarn. It's the same as this Patton's Croy yarn that I just showed you that that Kelly sent, that I just knit into my blanket. So this is Sal Baba in the Fall Wind colorway, and this has tones of royal blue, gray, red. So different shades of gray, red, brown. This kind of, I know, so I have a viewer named Melinda. Melinda, you know who you are, because I have a feeling that your favorite colors are black, red, and gray, is it? And while this has no black in it and there's blue, I feel like this is a color that it actually reminds me of you. And I don't know. I saw this yarn and I love it. I think it's going to make a really cool kind of rustic pair of socks that you can wear with anything. And that's what I've been into lately. This sock yarn that you can really wear with anything. And I like this a lot. I haven't been so drawn to this crazy loud yarn. Like I've mentioned before, I'm not into this really rainbow self-striping sock yarn. I don't think I would ever really wear this. Maybe around the house, but because I showcase my socks, it wouldn't fit to anything that I'm ever wearing. Yeah, just a personal thing. So I thought I had to cast these on because it's the first, and I want to show you guys that I've cast it on. And have good podcaster spirit to show you guys. So I knit a little bit on these, just a couple of rows. I cast on and I've knit 4 rows. My own sock recipe. When I started knitting socks, I used Nancy Bush Classic Socks recipe, and that's a great one for those of you who want to get into knitting socks. But now I've kind of adjusted it for myself, and this works great for me. The way the stitch count that I have on my socks, the needle size that I use. And I'm actually going to try and knit these socks differently, because last week I think I talked about how I thought that my gauge maybe had gotten just a teeny bit looser than it has been in the past, because I feel like my socks, the foot of them anyway, is quite loose. So I'm going to be knitting my socks, the cuff on a 2.5 millimeter or an American 2. And I'm going to be knitting the foot on a 2 millimeter. So what would that be? I think that's, or a 2.25, which is about an American 1. And I'm going to see how that goes. Hopefully well. If not, then not. It's a super, super busy month for me. So I think that I can see that I will get 1 pair of socks done in this knit along, whereas I think normally with my work and everything I could get 2 pair, because that seems how it has been in the past, that I get 2 pair of socks knit in a month. But because my parents come in a little over a week now, I don't think I'll be knitting that much when they're here, to be honest. I think we'll be spending a lot of time together and doing things, and I don't know that I will actually be sitting that much knitting. And if I am, I guess socks are the perfect thing to be working on. So maybe I will be mostly just knitting on socks while they're here. I can see that, but we'll see. I don't have any knitting plans for this month, simply because my parents are coming and I just want to enjoy them and enjoy the time and not plan anything. I have a 4-day weekend this weekend. I'm off today, Thursday, and I'm off tomorrow, Friday. So we're going, of course, to Robert's parents for the weekend. We'll leave tomorrow morning. And we'll stay from Friday until Sunday. But anyway, so I'm curious how this is going to knit up. I wonder if I will be ultra picky and make sure that the socks are matching, or if I'll just let the sock yarn go as it pleases. We will see. This ball is wound super crazy, in my opinion. It's really strange. I don't know why I didn't cake it up. I kind of wish that I would have caked it up, because it's hard to knit from. You know, it doesn't spin nicely. It's a little bit awkward. So I'm kind of wishing I would have caked it up. I still could do that. I've only knit 4 rows, but I don't think I will. And I'm knitting these on my Addi Turbos. I don't like these. I think about if I should change just to double points, because the cable has too much memory and it's a little bit frustrating to knit with, to be honest. And I should be at my Knit Pro needles should be arriving sometime, I would say in the next month. And I have no circulars in 2 and a 2.5. So I'm hoping that I love them. I don't know why I wouldn't, because the circulars that I knit, as I mentioned, are my favorite needles. So I hope that they make socks on circulars or the magic loop so much more enjoyable for me, because the Addis are slowly ruining it. Yeah, so I cannot wait to get my carbons. I'm getting the double point needle set, and then I'm getting just the one size of circulars for sock knitting, because I want to try them out. So I cannot wait to get those, because carbons are fabulous. The silver ones with the black grip piece. So I have some prizes that are going to be given away to 2 people, and we'll see if I add more prizes. It's a possibility that more prizes could be added. So let's grab these out of the bag. Okay, I've shown these before. These are from Rock and String Creation, and I have this gorgeous skein of yarn. I would say it's super in between a DK and a fingering weight, I would say. Or a fingering weight, a sock weight. It's 310 yards, 100% superwash merino. Very beautiful. And Rock and String Creations, she has a coupon code in her shop. It's just Molly, MOLLY. And I think you get 15% off. It could be more, but I'm pretty sure it's 15% off in her shop. So just put that coupon code in. And so one winner will be winning this skein of yarn. You will get a sample of the Tuft Woolens wool wash in the lavender scent. And then you will get these pretty, pretty buttons from Fascination Studio. So that's all one prize. One person will get those 3 things. And then the second winner will get this roving from Rock and String Creations. Isn't that beautiful? So pretty. And this is 100% Falkland. a new to me fiber, one I've never spun with. I really love the plum in this. I think it's really nice, super pretty. It's a really neat colorway because this neon has just been so in lately, at least here in Germany. And so you will win that roving. Then you win this soap in the mossy woods, which is what I use to wash my shawl. So you win this soap from Tuft Woolens, the wool wash. And then you'll win these pretty buttons from Fascination Studio. And she has an Etsy store, but she also has a .com web page where she has a lot more things. She doesn't just have buttons. She offers much more on her webpage. So those are the prizes for the sock knit along. I can't wait to see what you guys are knitting. Like I said, I haven't mentioned this live on the podcast. So yeah, I guess a lot of you guys maybe are curious what you can be knitting. You don't even know what the rules for the knit along are. There really aren't so many rules. You can knit a standard sock. You can knit a Fair Isle sock, a cable sock, an intarsia sock. You can knit any sock your heart desires. You can knit it. Baby sock, adult sock, children's sock. You can knit socks for your dog. Just as long as it's a pair of socks. I guess that's my only rule. It has to be a pair of socks. You could knit Christmas stockings if you're that ambitious and you're that well planned. You could knit 2 pair of Christmas socks. Or I guess, see, this is when the rules kind of come into the little asterisk. But if your sock is this large or uses up this much yarn, then 1 sock is okay. No, but I guess there aren't really any rules. It just has to be socks. So enjoy. Pick a fun yarn, pick a fun project. Do whatever you want. There doesn't have to be any certain rule, just that you enjoy, we have fun. So I talked about the new yarn that I got for the sock knit along that Sal Baba in the Fall Wind colorway. And I said that was a yarn that I've accumulated this week. And it was. An amazing friend, Sue Ann, sent me a package. And this package is unbelievable. This is beyond. And I was just in shock when this package arrived. So the coffee that I'm drinking from, the teacup, is also from Sue Ann. So here is how it looks. It's very pretty and dainty. It's unlike any teacup that I have. I don't have anything, I think, so pastel or with silver. I don't think any of my teacups have silver on them, except for maybe one. The ones that were my great-grandma Ruby's. But this is really pretty. It's so large that it holds a hefty amount of coffee or tea for a teacup. Which is nice because then I don't have to get up as many times to refill my teacup. And here is the saucer. I showed Robert these and he really liked this set. So there is the teacup. I am enjoying that and I really love it. So thank you so much, Sue Ann. I'm going to take one more sip because I'm going to need it. I'm going to need it when I get into this package. So she sent me a card. Here's the adorable card that she sent me. And I love the letter that she wrote. Because, okay, so let's do a little backstory. This will all make sense. My grandma sends me letters. As you all know, she likes to write letters. And her letters are usually a continuation from a couple of days. So, for example, she'll start a letter January 3rd. she'll write a couple of paragraphs, and then January 5th, she'll continue. And she'll write, okay, it's a couple days later, and blah, 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 this is what's going on. Then maybe she writes a little bit more on the next day, and then January 21st, she says, oh, I better get this letter sent out to you. I just found it, and so now I'm sending it, and I'm starting another one. Those are the way that a lot of my grandmother's letters go. Sure, she has the letters that she just writes and sends off, but it's so cute. I love to read these letters that she starts another day and finally gets off in the mail. It's cute. It's just totally my Grandma Sue's style. And Sue Ann, in her letter, she did the same thing. She had started her letter and then she continued it a different day. And I totally had to giggle when I saw this because it reminded me of my Grandma Sue. And I just imagined Sue Ann, so funny. I just imagined her stopping, and maybe I kind of wondered. I had wondered what happened in her day. Maybe a neighbor rang on the door and she had to stop writing the letter, or maybe there are so many possibilities of what could have happened. Maybe she had an errand to run, or maybe she wasn't feeling inspired to write anymore, and then she picked it up another day when some words came to her. And it's just fun. I like imagining those nice little stories that are happening in people's lives at different moments. And that's kind of what I imagined from Sue Ann when she was writing this letter. So I so appreciate that. Sue Ann, your letter was beautiful. It was so wonderful. I really enjoyed it. I think packages are the most special when you get a letter. That's the first thing that I'm always reading. I usually look for it to see if it's there, because I think the letters and the words are the most important thing. So let's show you guys what I got from Sue Ann. I think I'll go through these quite quickly because she sent me so much stuff. All of your minds are going to be blown, pretty much. So she sent me this gorgeous drop spindle from Hip Strings. This is so funny because I have this exact drop spindle as one of my favorites on Etsy. So this is how it looks. It is unlike any drop spindle I've ever seen. I've never spun on a drop spindle without a hook. I have one, and I tried spinning with it, and it was a bit challenging. So I am very curious how to spin on one of these, and I'm excited because it means that I get to learn something new. So if any of you guys know any good tutorials or have any good advice on spinning on a drop spindle that looks like this, please, please, please let me know. I'm really curious on how I learned to spin with this. And like I said, I'm excited for the challenge. And it came with this nice piece of fiber. And this fiber is very soft. It's 50% yak and 50% merino. I'm so excited to have all of these new fibers that I've never spun with. I really need to get back into my spinning because I've been finished for weeks with this Nicole C. Mendez fiber, and I haven't spun on it. After Robert fixed my wheel and made it so nice, it's totally terrible that I've set it aside for so long. So the next thing that she sent is another fiber. I guess I can show the fiber. And this is fiber from Friends in Fiber. This is BFL Silk. It's a 50-50, I believe. It doesn't say actually. And this is 4-ounce rainbow gradient. And while I mentioned earlier that I'm not into this rainbow sock yarn, I have really been wanting to try a rainbow roving. And I have this in my Etsy favorites as well, which is totally random. Sue Ann, I don't know if you actually ordered these because you saw them in my favorites, or if you just happen to totally randomly have them in your stash. But brilliant either way. Diane of the Knittables, she at one time was spinning up quite a bit of this rainbow roving. And I always thought that because she always barber plied her her roving, and I always thought it looked so pretty. I will definitely mix up the colors when I'm plying this. I don't want it to be a consistent color because I don't want that gradual rainbow gradient effect. I won't ply it gradiently at all. But I love this. So it's 4 ounces. I think this is going to be stunning when it's finished. She sent me some yarn for my sock blanket. So she sent me 2 Mrs. Babs, and the other is an abstract fiber. So this is the Mrs. Babs that she sent. This is a 100% merino wool. She said both of these were made into baby blankets. She crocheted these. They smell really nice. Ooh, really nice. I feel like this is the way Sue-Ann smells. Because she's a hairstylist. And this smells like hair product. In the best way ever. Yeah, so baby blankets. That's sweet. That's sweet to imagine that these little... And then this was also crocheted. Isn't this a pretty one? This is from Abstract Fiber. I kind of would also... I will make, obviously, a couple of squares with this. But I'm curious how this will knit up into a bird of happiness. And maybe that's what I do with these extra skeins that you guys are sending me for my Cozy Memories blanket. If there's any extra, I will maybe make a little bird, a bird of happiness. And these, obviously, they're super hefty mini skeins, if you want to call them that. I know that there will be enough for a square and a bird, plus more. Kelly, the ones that you sent me, I think they were maybe 3. I said I need a 3 to 4 gram for my squares, depending upon the weight of the yarn. But the ones that Kelly sent me were perfect. I maybe had a ball this teeny. Hey, I can show you. This is what I had left over. So these were the size of the balls that were left over. So perfect. I mean, I even think about making a bird of happiness from 2 of these. I think 2 would be enough. Yeah. And make the body one color and then the head a different color with the variegated. Could be cute. Who knows? So then, after she sent me that sock yarn, she sent me, she's the one who sent me the lavender. So this is the lavender that I will be putting into my bird of happiness. I don't know if she intended this for my bird of happiness. I imagine so. Oh, but it's heavenly. Oh, it smells so good. And this will go a long way. I can make a lot of bird of happiness patterns with this. I just needed a couple of pinches to put into mine, the first one that I made, and it was perfect. Then she sent me this. Okay, so she sent me quite a bit of Miss Babs yarn, which is so cool because Diane, again, of the Knittables, she also knits with a bit of Miss Babs yarn, and she kind of raves a bit about it, and she's always made me quite interested in this yarn. And this is funny because this is the Berlin colorway. Or I don't know why it says Berlin, actually, because this is actually, oh, it is. It's the Berlin colorway. It's the Yowza, what a skein. And this is the hand-painted 560 yards of worsted weight yarn. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a cardigan for myself. while 560 yards isn't enough, 700, 800 yards is definitely enough for a cardigan for me. So I think that I will maybe make a striped cardigan or something. I'm not sure. With this and then a different yarn. What? I haven't decided yet. But I just need about 200, 300 skeins. I even thought about this. There's a lot of yarn, you guys. So she sent me this yarn, which is Knitting Rose Yarns. And this is light worsted or DK yarn. In the drifted colorway, this is 50% fine alpaca and, oh wow, I didn't read the content in this. 50% fine alpaca, merino wool 30%, and silk 20%. And this is really heavenly. I don't know how that would look with this. Could look. But I think maybe the colorways would clash a bit. So yeah, I'll use something else. But it's beautiful. Then she sent me these 2 skeins of Miss Babs. And these are sport weight yarns. Both are 100% merino. The aubergine and the belle colorway. So beautiful. I thought about knitting each pair into socks, but I think they need to become a shawl together. Maybe a whippoorwill? I don't know. They're stunning. I don't think that Sue-Ann, if you would have asked me to pick out yarn, I don't think I could have picked out better yarns than what you picked. You maybe know me a little bit better than I know myself when it comes to picking out yarns. It's just crazy, the yarns that you picked out. I mean, I'm just in awe. I'm gonna keep going. I'm going to keep going. So then I got this luxurious hand-dyed yarns. This is by Kangaroo Dyer is the company. So this is BFL 100%. It's 416 yards. So look how beautiful this is. I really love the twist in this yarn, the ply. So pretty. And the colors are gorgeous as well. I feel like all of these yarns, because they're so beautiful, need to be turned into shawls. So then here is this one. This is Unsiyyah Luxury Fibers. And this is 70% superwash merino, 20 bamboo, and 10% nylon. Such neat blends. And the colorway, again, is stunning. Absolutely stunning. This is 457 meters. Then she sent me this, I think the brand is Drew and Barsky. This is sport weight yarn. And I feel like this is maybe going to turn up white on the camera. The colorway is opal and it is white with blues and light pinks. It's kind of, it's very, very pastel-y. It's called Gemstones, I guess must be the line of yarns. And this is 90% merino and 10% nylon. 440 yards. So pretty. So pretty. That could also be really nice with the shawl if you have a really bright color. And then the final yarn that she sent is this one. So different. So this is from the brand Dream, and it's Starry Sock Weight yarn. So this is also 98% superwash merino and 2% luxury yarn is what they call it. And this is spun and hand dyed in the US. So how cool is that? So pretty, so neat. And this one also has really deep purples and it changes. So beautiful. I wish I could go more and more into detail with these, but I feel like the podcast is getting quite long. And I will be knitting with them throughout the months and weeks, and I will oogle and ogle, if that's even a word, about them as the weeks go on, because the yarns are just absolutely stunning. I'm in complete shock. When I received and opened this package, my jaw dropped to the floor and I really couldn't even believe it. I feel like I was in shock for a day. I just received this on Wednesday, yesterday. So, it was just shocking. She made me these homemade wool balls. They're scented. And you add them in the dryer. I've never ever used these before. But again, they smell amazing. I'm super excited to try these. I've never used them before. I don't know, do you add one in the dryer or do you add all three? Curious. If we just add one, maybe we add the other two to the giveaway prizes. But if you're supposed to add all three, sorry. I'm pretty sure you just add one. So I think those two would be fun to add to the giveaway prizes. Oh, but they smell so good, Sue-Ann. What do you use to scent your things? Why does everything that you have sent smell so good? So then she sent these stitch markers. This is just like Christmas in a box. These brown ones and these pearl ones with this cute little clasped stitch marker with a little handbag on there. And then she sent this beautiful one in my favorite color, pink, with this pretty breast cancer awareness clipped one. So I will totally be using those. Maybe I'll add one of them to one of my shawl knit-alongs. Or not knit-alongs, one of my shawl designs. This Friends in Fiber, this came with the rainbow fiber that she sent. So I have a pretty little bowl that I have all of my samples in, and I will add that to it. And then once it's full enough, I will spin up all of my samples into a pretty skein. Then the last and final thing in the box, or no, it's not. Okay. So let's show these quick. Then she sent me 3 different products for my hair. Sue-Ann, you sent me Matrix Biolage, which is awesome because I've actually, when I lived in America, I used this so often. I love Biolage. It is amazing. I'm not going to go into the hair care products because this is a knitting podcast, but I was so excited. I immediately took a shower and washed my hair when I got these. And my hair is so weak and damaged that this is exactly what I need. So I love these. Thank you so much, Sue-Ann. Okay, so the last 2 things are these 2 old magazines. Aren't they cool? So look at this one. And I actually have a couple of these from my grandma. Mon Tricot is what they are. And I want to kind of look through these next week. So I'm going to save these 2 magazines for next week for us to kind of have a browse through and look at these older patterns. Let's see. Okay, we can talk about these next week. Super stash enhancing week. Oh my God. But wonderful, full of so much love, full of so much excitement. I'm feeling so inspired by all of these new things that I've accumulated. I'm loving drinking out of my new teacup. I'm loving having amazing smelling hair. I'm loving finding new friends. I'm loving chatting with you guys. I'm loving knitting and hearing the clicking of my needles. And I'm loving being filled with creativity and new ideas for crafting. And I'm just loving this sunny summer weather that we're having. I just purchased, we went for a bike ride yesterday, Robert, Elodie, and I, after we picked Elodie up from Kita, and we finished purchasing all of the flowers for our balcony, which is so exciting. I will plant those this afternoon with Elodie because Robert is leaving for the whole day, which stinks. He has an audition somewhere. He's an actor. So he has an audition somewhere, and Elodie and I will be here, which is totally fine, totally fun, and we'll spend a little bit of time out on the balcony planting flowers and pots and things like that. We bought a raspberry plant for the first time, which I'm so excited to have. Robert's parents have loads of different sorts of plants in their garden. 15 or so different berry plants. They have different trees with fruits on them. They have just the most amazing garden. And so I'm excited to have the one little raspberry plant out on my balcony and see how I care for that and see how the raspberries grow. And I'm just so excited to watch the raspberries come up and to be able to go out on the balcony and see Elodie's face as she sees these fresh raspberries. They have no pesticides. There's nothing on them. We don't have to worry about washing them, really. She can just eat them. She can just grab them, eat them straight off the vine. And they're hers. They can go in her belly and be tasty. And I think those sorts of childhood memories are so fun. They're so special. I can remember when I was little, we had a massive yard. And we had a huge tree out front filled with blackberries. And I remember reaching up high and pulling down a branch and just grabbing the blackberries and eating as many blackberries I could until my belly was full. And for me, I often think about this memory in the summertime. And I would love to have a big garden filled with fruits and things like that so that Elodie can go outside and eat fresh produce just out in her yard. Grab a quick handful of berries when she's hungry, have her friends over and play out in the garden in the nature. And I don't know, I look forward to that for her. I think that's something special, and I think this little plant kind of opens up the door of that. So summer is coming. I'm so excited. My parents are coming. I have one more full week of work and my parents will be here. And I'm looking forward to that more than anything. I know they are too. I think it will be so wonderful. I look forward to this week as well. I think it will be a nice one. I hope that you guys have a good week. I hope you have a nice weekend. For those of you who aren't free today and tomorrow and who just have Saturday and Sunday off, enjoy your work days, enjoy your weekend as well. Have a great knitting week, a great handcrafting week, a great week with your families, friends, a great week with yourself. I'll see you next week and I look forward to it. So bye-bye.